share my screen, I guess. Okay, so guys, I'm doing something dangerous. So usually when I present, I use my, like, I call it my burner account. It's my account that I don't really do much for. It's like I just do tutorials from, and I'm actually presenting from my like actual account that I always use for everything. So if anything pops up or something crazy, just know I've got really weird friends and that's their fault, not mine. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. It's weird. None of us have anything wrong with this. It's just our friends are weird, right? If anybody sees if a text message pops up when you're presenting to students or at a faculty meeting, you're like, oh, that's Jared. We don't talk about Jared. You know what I mean? Like, but Jared's really just responding to something weird you said. Okay. So let me see if I can share my screen. Do I have screen? There it is. I'm just kidding. It's right here. I know how to share my screen. We're talking about video today, and I'm like, do I know how to share my screen? We're talking about video today. Okay. Let's pick this little chicken nugget. Okay. So can you guys see that? Y'all see that screen? Okay, excellent. If you'd like to sign in as per usual, y'all like when you get an email that says per my last email, it's like, I know what you're really saying. It's saying check my email. Per my last email, per usual, I have the link on that slide to where you can jump in because I've got links, tutorials, stuff like that linked in this presentation. So bit.ly/Google Vids, VIDZ, because yeah, I'm pretty edgy, guys. I don't know if you could tell. Very edgy. I put Z's instead of S's sometimes. I don't know. Classy guy. Classy guy. It's like everybody's AOL screen name from the 90s. It's like something super weird and awful. And it's just like got Z at the end because somebody else had it. So you just kept putting Z's. My name's Cat Friend 88 Z, something like that. Excellent. Excellent. So if y'all want, you can jump into that presentation. That way you can have these links, bit.ly. Oh yeah, and I'm not going to forget about the chat until like 30 minutes in like I did last time. I'm going to pop that chat up so I can see if you guys have any thoughts or questions while we're presenting. All right, give about another minute and then we're going to get rolling. Let you guys jump into that slideshow. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Mary Jane tossed the link in the chat if you want it there. So nice. Also, remember to put your name as your name. No AOL screen names from the 90s. That way they can take roll really well. So I'd recommend like a first and last name. Yep, first and last name, please, is what the request was. Mary Jane, we got you. I got you, fam. She even put a smiley face. I used to, my old director of curriculum instruction, she would put smiley faces all the time. Like if somebody did a drinking game, it would be a smiley face drinking game. Like every time you got an email, how many smiley faces do you get in an email? And then I said it, we always used to joke about it. And then when I took her role, I did it all the time. It's like you say something like, hey, everybody do this. Smiley face, please do what I asked you to do. So I do it all the time. Exclamation points and smiley faces. Okay, everybody feel good? They got their names. We were ready to start. Y'all feel good? We're ready to start? I think we had all the people we cared about in here a few minutes ago, so we're ready to roll. Okay, unless you just joined, we were actually waiting on you. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about some video resources and options for how we present our video to our students, how we interact, how we find resources, and I've even got some tutorials, things like that as usual. Same template as the last couple sessions. We're going to do 3 quick tips, bam, bam, bam. Then we're going to do a little resource. Here's a resource you can use in your classroom right now. And then we're going to get into the meat of the meal. So we'll start with our appetizers. We're going to have some jalapeno peppers and some mozzarella sticks. And then we're going to get like some veggies. We're going to eat them, but we're not going to like them, but we have them there. We're going to move them around our plate, look like we ate them. And then we're going to eat our steak. Okay. So the main focus of today is we are doing video in education and the different types you can do, different ways you can do them, benefits and non-benefits of each of those ways. And then we're also going to talk about, those fun facts. So as usual, if you haven't signed up for Text Teacher to that number, if you do that, it's free. It's just anytime I make a resource or if I go live on YouTube, I'll be like, hey, I'm going to go live and make lesson plans with Canva. You can join if you want, or, you know, watch Netflix. Either way, you know, you might learn more with me, but it's going to be more entertaining if you go to Netflix. Okay. So let's start it off. In the chat, everybody tell me their favorite Netflix show they're watching right now. How's that? Let's start off there, get discussion going. Throw your favorite shows in the chat. And especially if has anybody been to one of my presentations before? Any of you guys been to any of mine before? A couple of you guys? So good. This is the part you've heard like 8 times. So, Grey's Anatomy. I was into it about season 9. Then I was like, I told my wife, I was like, Amanda, I can't stay with you anymore. You're gonna have to take this journey alone. I was like, I tried. I put up 9 years into this. Go for it. Oh, Office. Oh, like how many times? It's incredible. Okay. While you guys are filling in your favorite show on streaming, doesn't have to be Netflix, streaming. I'm going to tell you about me. I'm the dean of NLC College, so I'm the dean of a school. I teach some classes, but I also am the administrator for a branch campus of the college. Before that, I had started out teaching high school math, and I was a history and political science major, which we know all history and political science majors become math teachers. It's just kind of the way the world works. So that's what I did because the role of Indiana Jones was taken. Shia LaBeouf got it, and he tanked. I would have been so much better. Not at acting, but just like as sticking around, I would have been better. And then after that, I became a principal, tech director, and then I worked at central office as curriculum instruction. I also have a lot of YouTube videos, blah, blah, blah. Who cares about me? Let's learn some stuff. Okay. Next, I always toss. Remember, we talked about this in the previous ones. Slides 3 and 4. They are not in there so that you can learn this right now. They are in there because anytime you present something or give an assignment or do anything that you give to students, it's good to have these consistent help videos and links put into every presentation. It's almost like you could sit back and go, well, I told the students on the first day that it's linked in their class materials in their LMS. They probably weren't paying attention because they're too worried about what they're wearing and what their friends are wearing. And it's the first day of school. Or they're on virtual and they've turned off their screen and they've left the room. Okay, so if you want slide 3, this is where you can toss it in. Toss this in any presentation you do with students, any assignment. You can add your own links in here and keep building that list. Where do they check their grades? How can the parents contact you? Where's the library resources for your school? All those links that are specific to you, toss those on the left, and then there's full tutorials on the right. Then right here on slide 4, these are just Google Help videos. This is the stuff that the students, they're gonna hit problems with more often. If you have students that email you and they say, hey, I don't know how to attach multiple assignments on here. I've got a couple, I can't do it. Do not tell them how to do it. You walk them out the door and redirect them on where to go. Say, hey, check the Google Help video slide. Or if you've got like the Google cheat sheet for students that we've talked about, say, check the Google cheat sheet for students. That's all you got to say. That's the only way they're going to learn on their own and not turn you into their personal assistant. Okay. Okay. Now, before we go into tip number 1 of the day, I do want to address, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but the Creek show, I just started watching that and it is very funny. It's very funny and I like it a lot. And I have favorite characters and they're incredible. And I don't want to say it because they might turn out to be not great, but they're great so far. And I love them. And the show is great. And The Mandalorian. Oh my goodness. The Mandalorian is my favorite. Like, I love Star Wars. It's my favorite Star Wars thing I've ever watched. And it's just like my son and I look forward to it dropping every Friday. And then the world they're building out of it and how they tie in other stuff. So good. So good. Okay. Now, and I'm going to use Star Wars actually as an example once we get into the video talk. Okay. So let's start here. Tip number 1 of the day. Google Sites. Has anybody ever created a Google site? A website through Google Sites? Okay. It looks like 3 or 4 hands that I can see. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. When Google Sites is essentially a free website builder through Google. It's very similar to Wix. It's like a toned down version of Squarespace. I think Wix is free, that free version and paid version. Squarespace is only paid version. But then again, Squarespace integrates a lot of stuff. Like email is integrated. You can set up like a shop on there. It's more if you're like, I'm trying to build like a company out of this. But it is a really good website. I like Squarespace. I've used Squarespace. I've used WordPress. I've used Google Sites. I've used Wix. I used to have blogs back in the day. Like I've used Angel Fire. Does anybody remember Angel Fire from back in the day? That was the first. It was like a custom free website builder from, I guess, like 1999, 2000. I was in 10th grade, and my first website I ever made was a Harry Potter website. And you're like, oh, that's dorky, Tyler. Oh, you don't know. This is a cool Harry Potter website. You could get enrolled into houses. You could answer trivia, and you think, oh, that's dorky. No, no, no. It's very cool. That's what I told all my friends. It's all the girls I tried to date. I was like, no, it's very cool. And it was through Angel Fire. So yeah, you didn't know what you're getting into, but if I didn't win you over with principal and director of curriculum, I think I just won you over. So here we go. Google Sites. It used to be absolute garbage, if I'm being completely honest with you. It was so complicated. It looked like a classy 1993 website. It was not good and not easy to use. And then Google's like, oh yeah, maybe we should make this better. And they did. Okay. Now, I don't want to go through all the sites because that's not what we're covering today. But there was a question that someone sent last time that was a very, very good question. They said, I am in charge of making websites for my school. And so I want to make a website for me. And then there are multiple teachers that I would like to just like, I want to help them create their websites, but a lot of the information I'm making, I want to be able to automatically update on their websites. So that is a great question. I'm going to show you what you can do to make it automatically update. You ready for this? So we're going to go to sites.google.com, which is where anything for Google is, whatever it is, .google.com. And I'm going to go find one that I've already got made. So I've already got this Google. This is one that I play around on whenever I make tutorial videos. Okay. So I've got my Google site, whether this is mine or say it's one that I'm making that for another teacher, or I'm helping out some people that are in my team. They don't know how to use the internet, but they want a website. And so you're trying to help them. Okay. Let me delete this real quick. So I've just got a title and it says Google training, whatever. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm sorry, I'm having to like look around my camera. So what I want to do, a way to put information on a website that you don't have to continually go to Google Sites to update, but automatically updates. The trick is create what you want in a Google Doc or Google Slide or Google Sheet, and then link that into your Google site. Okay. So you guys know I have, so let's see, I'll go to my drive. So because I talked about it, you're probably sick of hearing about it. I have a Google cheat sheet for teachers. I have a Google cheat sheet for students. Okay. So one that, like, let's say I want to put the Google cheat sheet for students. I want to put it on my website, but I also want to put it on other teachers' websites. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into find where it is in Google Drive. We're going into Google Drive. And I'm going to go to, what do I have under cheat sheets? There it is. So I'm going to go to this cheat sheet and I'm going to find whatever the document is. I'm going to make it, whatever I want. So I've got this. Let's do the Google cheat sheet for teachers. Okay. And let's say I want to embed this on building like the elementary, the middle school, the high school. I want to embed it on all of their websites so the teachers can get to it. I can go in and I can change this Google Doc. Change it, adjust it however I want. Then, whenever I go to my Google site, all I got to do is over here on the right. Do you see where it says Drive? Y'all see that? I can click on that, and it's going to be linked to my Google Drive. Then I can just pick whatever resource or doc or sheet or slide that I want. I can go in and pick that resource, just like I just showed you with going through docs. Go to cheat sheets, and then I can select this Google cheat sheet for teachers, and then I click insert. What it's doing is it is going to embed that whatever it is, doc, sheet, or slide, it's going to embed it into your website. So I can take this, and let's say I want to stretch it down. So I'm just going to drag this down, drag it down so you can see more of the page. Now, you're thinking like a doc, it looks kind of like a doc, but the cool thing is now I can embed this, share with the other teachers, embed it on their pages. And then anytime I want to make a change on 5 different websites, all I have to do is update my Google Doc. And so I'm updating one thing that automatically updates everywhere else, because it didn't take a snapshot and put what it was at that moment on the website. It linked to it so that it's always updated. That's one of the good things about, one of the things that sets Google products apart, is that almost everything they do is a living, breathing piece of work. It's not like, okay, email out the calendars, and then you got to make a change, and then you got to email version 2, and then email version 3, whatever. You email out one thing, and then as you update it, it's always being updated. So I can keep dragging this down to show more of my Google Doc, and then you're going to be able to let them see more of that website. Okay. Now, Google Docs looks like a Google Doc, but go ahead. Got a question?
Hey, Tyler. It looks like the bit.ly link has taken everybody to the last presentation.
The last one?
So maybe I'll just put the full.
Here, I'll toss it in there.
Okay.
Sorry, I might have copy pasted the other one. And you know who I blame for that? Myself, because it's my fault. Okay, I tossed it in there. If that doesn't work, so help me, I'm gonna burn my house to the ground. That's not true. I'm not gonna do that, but I will light a candle. I'll tell you that right now. It's gonna smell great. Fun fact, my high school burned down in 10th grade. There you go. So I shouldn't make that joke. It was really weird. It's like a 100-year-old high school and it burned down. Kid wanted to show that he was a good fire marshal. Fun fact, he wasn't. Okay, so whenever you're in there, that's the best way to create things that you or other teachers want to put on websites. Oh, really? Your high school burned down? Was it the same kid? I bet it was the same kid. Scott. It's always a Scott or a Scotty. Sorry if we have one in here. Whenever you want to create a website, here's the thing, guys. I have a lot of websites that have not been updated in many a year. The problem is we go in to create these resources, but it's not like in the morning when we wake up and we're like, I need to go update my website. It's not something that's on the forefront of our brain all the time. But if we link the right stuff that we are going to frequently, if we're going there, we're good to go. Here's the cool thing. Watch this. So let's say I wanted to add in, let's look at what a Google slide looks like. So I'm going to go to my drive. I'm going to roll up on these resources, like, what's up, resources? How you living? I'm going to go into, let's go to templates, slides, not what I want. Presentations, that is what we want. So I'm going to go in here. I could take this presentation, this one, bam, hit this, hit insert. It's going to put this presentation in this to where people can go through this slideshow. So on this website, now people can go there and they can click this little over arrow and they'll be able to go between my slides and use this website as however they want. So start thinking of whatever those documents, those slides, those presentations are. Maybe you do like a presentation for parents the first day. Toss it on there and make a parents page, make a student resources page, and then you give them that link and then it updates as you create those things. So there you go. That's the idea. That's what I would recommend. It would be, Fred said, it would be an interesting story if I was the one that burned it down. It would be. It would have been, it would have come full circle. M. Night Shyamalan on this mug. So Debbie said, had an issue last spring with admin doing this. Then when others needed to update some of that info, but couldn't because the person had to do it. So I'd be careful about what gets done this. Okay, so that's a good point. So Debbie brought up a good point, and I want to address it. If you share, say, okay, so let's say, so that Google cheat sheet for teachers, that's mine. You can't edit it, I can. Okay, so if you went in and you grabbed the Google cheat sheet for teachers, you add it to your drive, and then you import it, I could go in and change it and make it a Google cheat sheet for engineers for some reason in 6 months. It would change on yours and say Google cheat sheet for engineers. Here's what I recommend. If somebody shares something with you or gives you a resource, go in and go to, so if you have this cheat sheet, go in, go to File, make a copy. Take whatever they give you, make your own copy, and then attach that. That way you're the one that has control of what happens with it, with that resource. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, Clinton had a question. If you gave others that needed editing rights to a specific document or attachment, would it then also update the site it was added to as a resource? Yes. So if I say I took this cheat sheet and I shared it, with Clinton, let's say I shared it with Clinton, and he went in and changed all this stuff, it'll change on those websites that it's linked to. So keep that in mind. Okay, that's not something that might affect you, but if you have like a collaborative doc or sheet that you have with teachers, if you attach it to your website and then they go in and screw it up, it screws it up for you too. However, I'm trying to think, there was something else I wanted to address on that. If you share it to their website, they don't have to have editing access. So like this Google cheat sheet for teachers, you can go in and take this, and you can go up here and see this little folder. You can go into the doc, click this folder, and put it in your drive. Even though you only have view access, you can put it in your drive, and then you can go put it on your website. So it's like, I don't have to give other teachers editing access for them to be able to embed this on their website. You could also do this. Y'all ready? Go to File, go to Publish to the Web. So I went to File, Publish to Web. Now I can actually embed this in there, okay? It's not, to be honest with you, it's not as clean because Google Sites would rather you pull it from your drive than throw in the embed link. But this is another option if you really don't want other teachers to be able to put this in their drive, even at view access. You could go in and embed it, okay? So that is what I got. Okay, let's see. Give others need editing rights to specific document. Okay, we already answered that. Okay, yeah, I would definitely not, like if you can do this with calendars too. You can embed your classroom calendars on here because you know that every time you create a Google class, it creates a Google Calendar automatically for that class. So you could put that calendar linked on there, and that way parents could go in and see when assignments are due on that page, on that website. Let's see, it got kicked out, and when I rejoined, it won't let me see any of the previous chat. Would you please? Oh yeah, we can toss those links in, Christian, if they haven't already. Oh, they did. Did y'all say the bit.ly/Google Vids, it goes to the wrong place? Does it go to the right place? Oh, yay. Okay, good. I was scared for a second. I'm always scared I'm going to link to something old. It's going to ruin everything. Okay. Give everyone access to the sheet. Yeah, give them view access. If you don't want them to be able to edit, give people view access only. And if they're good at Google, this is an insult. My good friend Leanne and I, we always like try to irritate each other. So we always give view only access. And it's just a slap to the face. And it's great. It's so fun. Which is how you use it for something on Google sites like Wix. Yes, excellent. Okay, so I'm going to keep rolling. So that was Google tip 1. Now, this actually is a great lead in to Google tip 2, which is if you want to create a website, a good option for a website might not be sites. It might just be a Google sheet. So watch this. You can actually take a Google slideshow. By the way, guys, I used to say Google Forms was like the best thing in the world for education that Google makes. Google Slides has risen up to either second place and maybe even at first. Slides is so much more versatile than I gave it credit for the first several years. It is incredible. So I'm going to show you what you could do with Google Slides. So let me grab a Google Slide presentation. So let's say, or I could do it to this one, okay? So I'm in this presentation. I could go in, I could go to File, I could go Publish to the Web like we did earlier. Now, here's where I have my options. When I publish to the web, I can have it to where it automatically rotates every 3 seconds, every second, or it like gives it a minute. Now, people are still going to be able to like manually progress through my presentation if they want, but they don't have to. So I could say every 3 seconds. I could say start it whenever it loads, or I can make it just sit there and then restart after it ends. Sure. I mean, you can choose your own options. I could hit publish. I'm going to say okay. Now, it gives me a link. You're probably not going to remember this link. So what you want to do is you want to go to bit.ly and turn it into something you can remember. bit.ly/Mr. Tarver's class, whatever it is you want to make it. Then that can be your class website. Am I yelling at y'all? Why am I yelling? I get so hyped. I'm just like, hey, check out this. I need to calm down. Hey, everybody, how are y'all doing? Welcome to Delilah. Here we go. Did y'all have Delilah there? Did y'all have Delilah? When I was in junior high, I used to listen to a radio station, and it was like, hi, welcome to Delilah. And I'd go to sleep, and Delilah, she was just so sweet. She was so nice to eighth grade Tyler. So this is what it looks like. When you give this link, this is what they see. Remember, I set it up on rotate every 3 seconds, so it's going to rotate through, but you don't have to have it rotate every 3 seconds. You could have on your opening page, it's just like a navigation. So like I actually put a screenshot. See, it's going to keep rolling. I could have this right here is a screenshot on one of my other presentations that has navigation links to different parts of the slideshow. So if I did a Google slide, published to the web, made it my website, I could have like these little things right here, and then it could bounce to other ones. Zach, okay, just see what Zach said? Digital announcement display, like TVs in the hallways. This is exactly what we did at our school. And that's what I was gonna lead into, so 10 points to Gryffindor. So what we did was we took our announcements, everything that we wanted to announce, and then the principals in each of our buildings, they put up TVs in the hallways. And we would have the principal and assistant principal had access to it. And then we also gave access to the student council, because they were the ones that came in and read the announcement. So we give it access to like the president and vice president. And what they would do is they could go in and make updates for students, and then the principals would go in and make updates for the rest of the school. And they would just put this website up, it would be on the TV, and it would just roll through every 3 seconds, like a scrolling announcement. It's like, it reminds me of the beginning of the movies. Remember when we used to get to go to movie theaters? At the beginning of movies, it would roll through those little things every few seconds. That's what it was. And we actually experimented with something called flex mod scheduling, to where students had options to go like work in the auditorium and like do like, they could work at their own pace. We would actually project it on that auditorium, and it would scroll every 3 seconds for students in there as well. This is a great way to do those digital announcements. Another thing that we did was back to school week, when it was just the teachers, we would, to help the teachers get comfortable with Google Slides, but also get to know new teachers, we would do an activity where we shared a slideshow with all the teachers. They would put their name, what they teach, what grades, and then like their favorite quote and a picture of themselves. And this was a way for them to get used to doing a collaborative slide. But then what our principals would do is they would take that presentation, throw this on the TVs during open house. And so when people and parents are walking around, or they're waiting to go in and talk to a teacher, it's scrolling through, and they can learn a little bit about each of the teachers in the building. So it's a very versatile tool to use. Okay, great. Now, so in staying in line, all these tips, the theme of the tips was websites. So staying in line with that, I want to show you an option for a website that I have come to like a lot. So has anybody heard of like Linktree? You know what Linktree is? Linktree, it's like if you follow any teachers on social media, they'll be like, links are in my bio, teachers pay teachers, whatever it is. When you click on it, it'll say linktr.ee/their name. When you click on it, it gives you a screen with like 4 or 5 different link options. Go to my YouTube, go to my TPT, go to this, go to that, whatever. You see this with a lot of influencers, because they have different things they're either trying to sell or send you to. So Linktree is the most popular of these link in bio websites. Linktree I've used and paid for. Tap.bio I have used and paid for. It's really cool as well. It's really geared towards mobile. But the last one that I'm on, the one I use right now, and it has a free version, and then they have a paid version if you really like it. But even with the free version, you can actually make a website in using this and link it in your social media. You can link it to it however you want for your classes. It's a creative way where a lot of people are using it to give resources in their bio. You could just use it as your teacher website, because your teacher website, you're not like usually doing like teacher's daily blog. Like you're probably not posting a lot to it. It's mainly links for parents and students, and like it's like a directional, it's like a hub for all the stuff you have or things that students need to know. So I'm going to show you kind of mine, and then if you want, you can do one or not. It's fine. Like I said, they have free versions. They also have paid versions depending on what you want. Honestly, guys, I bet the free version would cover almost everybody in here and what you want to do. Okay. So if you want, you can click that link to go to it, and it'll take you to where you can sign up for an account. But I'm going to show you mine. So mine is solo.to/Tyler. Okay. So I was lucky. I got my name. What's up? So I'm going to X out of that. It was cool the way I did it too. I was paying money to use tap.bio. So I was paying them like $10 a month or something to use theirs. And then I was like, I saw this on like an ad on Instagram, and I just emailed them. I go, hey, I really think this is y'all have a cool product here. Here's how many clicks I get. Would you give it to me for free if I switch over from tap bio? And they were like, okay, cool. I was like, sick. And so it was like the first time it's ever worked for me to do that. So I was like, this is incredible. So of course I'm going to be preferential with them, but also I think it looks better. So remember, it looks really good on mobile, but theirs is really, really adapted to like a website as well. So you could create a solo.to/your name, and then you choose your profile photo. You can choose like a header, like a background. Then you get all this, like you can show your location. You can give your little like description about who you are. Check this. You can have it to where people can email you directly from here. So if you gave this link to parents, it's really quick for them to be able to like, okay, bam, they click this. It pulls up your email address. They can fill out an email and send you an email from right there. Makes it super easy for parents or students to contact you about anything that they need. You can also set it up to where it does text message or phone calls, which I wouldn't do unless you had like we talked about last time, Google Voice, where you can drop the phone number if some crazy start hitting you up. So, but it has the option. And then if you have like a classroom Facebook page, Twitter account, or a YouTube channel, they can like or subscribe directly from this page. So like just that header gives you more options than any of the other ones that I've seen. This one I think you have to do on the paid version, but if you have an email list, like say you do create stuff and you send it out to other teachers or students or parents or whatever, you can have an email list sign up here. But here's the main thing. You have all these links you can put into websites, and then you can also embed videos directly in here. So let's say you wanted to embed this how to act in an online class. You could take that video, whether it's by you or by somebody else, embed it, and people can watch it directly in here. Oh gosh, just yelled in my own ears. That was weird. So right here, you can toss all these links to cheat sheet for students, cheat sheet for parents. You could toss in that video I made on how to parents help students with virtual learning. You could create your own welcome video for your students. You can link that in here. This is like, it seems basic, but honestly, if you think about what you're trying to put out there, most of it's links to your own Google Docs or your own presentations or your own stuff. So you could create the links here and have it go to wherever you want. So I like this as an option for a website if this fits the needs of what you're doing. And I think honestly, this fits the needs of most people because you can set this up once and then you're just changing the docs like we talked about earlier. So sweet. So if you want, toss that in. If you're gonna do, since they did give me that, they like put me on some things. So if you want, if the free, like I said, the free one's gonna cover everything that you want. But if you do want to purchase it or pay for it, I think the link I have gives you 10% off. So I'm gonna toss it in. But again, just use the free one. Okay, the free one's gonna cover everybody in there. But if you want to pay 10% off, the end. Blah blah blah. Okay. Cool. Links, make sure I covered everything that you can get. It's built for mobile, so it works great on mobile and desktop. And since it's new, here's another fun fact. Since it's new, a lot of the usernames are open. So, like if you want to get your name on Facebook, it's like taken. So you have to be like Tyler Tarver 88526Z. You know what I mean? But here I got Tyler because I was one of the first ones there. So you could have a good chance of getting your actual name on their website. So there you go. Okay, so we did our 3 quick tips. Okay, so they have $1, $5, and 10. I honestly didn't even know. I got lucky. Hey, if you get a lot of clicks, maybe you hit them up too. Be like, hey, would you give it to me for free? Work for me. Why not? I'm not special. Go for it. Okay, so we did our 3 tips, and we stayed in the realm of websites or providing resources online for our students. Okay, now let's roll into your resource. So here's a resource that I made that I think you might like. So I think we can all agree that the internet's probably not a fad at this point. It's probably here to stay for a little while. Okay, it's probably here to stay. So I think one of the skill sets, whereas, as teachers, we take on like character development teachers for all of our students, like try to, make them decent human beings and all. And so it's like we always try to talk to them about like, this is how you talk to adults, make eye contact, this is how to do handshakes. You incorporate that into your actual like classroom. Like, this is how you act in a normal society and not be a trash bag. So I think that one of the things that we has come under our responsibility umbrella is also teaching them how to be responsible online. Because how many of our students already have profiles for something online? Like almost all of them, I would assume. Like my kid's 10 and he's got a YouTube channel. And so it's like these kids have these accounts. How many times have you seen even people when they're adults make posts or say something that 10 years later it comes back to haunt them? It's lost jobs, it's ruined careers because of something stupid they thought was funny at midnight on a Tuesday when they're 18, and then when they turn 28 and they're going to direct a movie, somebody combs their Twitter account and now they lose their job. Okay, so it's like we need to teach students how to be responsible and how to understand what you post on the internet, that's forever. Like it's somewhere. Like, aren't like most tweets like archived in the Library of Congress or something? Didn't I see that somewhere? Maybe that's just president tweets. I don't know. And either way, that's going to get crazy. Am I right, guys? So whenever we are teaching our students, it's important to teach them that what they say on the internet, that is going to be construed as their real life spoken word, even if they texted it on their phone from a buddy's house. Okay. So it's important to teach them this. So what I did was I took a lot of the Google had built out these digital citizenship lessons, and I took that and then also some of my own experience in working in like online schools and online classes and social media. And I tried to make some videos to go along with that curriculum. So if you want, here is a lesson. If you click this link, it goes to a Google Doc that is like a lesson plan for you to train students on how to be decent digital citizens. Covers, let's see, I'm gonna scroll down. It covers everything from like the 4 C's, like creativity, communication, things like that. Then it wrote like the 4 C's of 21st century learning, has a description. It's got resources. This is like a link to a video of me talking through it. If you want to use it, you can. If not, it doesn't matter. And then you can roll in understanding internet privacy, school-wide policies. It's geared towards students. Like, how do you understand what is important for okay, so Zach said that for 3 years they did archive the tweets, but or no, 7 years, sorry, I know how to do math. Sorry, 7 years they archived the tweets, but apparently they were like, this is dumb, and they quit. They were tired of people talking about the Jonas Brothers, so they're like, we're not doing this anymore. And so they stopped archiving them. How to make good, strong passwords. That's fairly important so somebody doesn't steal your identity. Copyright, fair use. So the idea, I made this, honestly, guys, when I make a lot of these resources, I do it from like, how would I want this if I was a teacher to be as easy as possible? And so what I did was, here's the title. You copy it, you paste it into Google Classroom as the title. Description, you put that in there in Google Classroom as the description. Copy paste this, make this a discussion question. Like, copy this video. Like, I tried my best to make it to where all you have to do is copy paste it into your Google Classroom or your LMS. So if you want it, there is that. If you want to use it to walk your students through how to not lose your job 10 years from now, that's what you can title this lesson, how to keep your job 10 years from now. How many of y'all are thankful that social media was not super popular when you were a kid? I was super dumb, like super dumb. Like, I was lucky that the only thing that came out when I was a kid was a TV show called Jack Blank. There's a cuss word. And it's like pushing people in shopping carts into like curbs. Like, that's what I did. And I didn't record it. Thank goodness. And so it's like, that was all we did. But kids today, shoot, it's ready to make a mistake. Okay. And here's another thing too. And I just want to, this is just Tyler getting on a soapbox. Okay. We like to, I say that, I love the NBA. If you'll notice, like a lot of older NBA players are like, players now are soft and they're not as good. They could never beat a team. When if you look at it, like, these players are bigger, faster, stronger. They got better shooting percentages. Like, I think they could put up a good chance against you, Charles Barkley. It's like we get nostalgic of what we remember from when we were younger. And we like to think that like, oh, the next generation, they're ruining everything. Like I'm what's considered a millennial. And like everybody was like, oh, millennials are going to ruin everything until like Gen Z came up. And now they don't care about millennials as much. They're like, wow, Gen Z's pretty rough. They keep calling me Karen. Why are they doing that? You know what I mean? Like it gets, every generation kind of thinks the next generation is getting worse and worse. And they think like social media is the reason. Social media didn't make us bad. It just showed who we really were. It's kind of what it was, in my opinion on it. Like it's not making us worse. It's just kind of, that's what everybody did. It just wasn't put out on the internet for millions of people to see. So I could be wrong, but you know what? It's all my opinion. So who cares what I think? I'm not your boss. Okay. So let's get into the video side of what we're doing. Now, I want you to ask questions. I want to roll through this. I want to answer anything you want, but I tried to give you kind of like a map for what kind of product do you want? What kind of lesson do you want? And then what are the best options for me to go about presenting that material to my students? Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Each generation is going to blame the other generation, right? It's always easier to just say it's everybody else's fault, which none of us would ever do. We all take responsibility for our actions. I know we do. I can tell we're the good ones. Everybody knows that. I'll tweet about it later. Okay. So here are the 4 ways that I kind of broke down the ways you can provide lessons with video to your students. Okay. So the first one is, do you want them to just get the information? You don't care who the information comes from. You just want them to get it. Okay. So this would be, I'm going to go find a resource. I'm going to go find a video on YouTube and I'm going to post it and they're going to watch it. And then when we come into class, we'll discuss it or whatever happens after that. But the video is going to deliver the curriculum, but it might not be from me. Step 2, I want to present the information. I want to say it out loud. I don't care. The students aren't going to interact, but I'm going to teach. It's kind of like, honestly, how I've been doing this right here. This is a version of what number 2 is. I'm presenting a bunch of information. You guys are giving pieces of information in the chat, but it's not like I'm handing this over for like 20 minutes for one of you guys to present. Okay. So it's like, that's what I'm looking at on number 2. Number 3, that's pre-recording the information. That's where I go out on a Tuesday afternoon and I film 2 or 3 videos and then I upload them for my students to watch next week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I'm pre-recording the information. And then number 4, this is conversations, discussions. This is Google Meet. This is Zoom. Edpuzzle. I've heard a lot of great things about Edpuzzle because it tracks students as they go through so that they don't just like watch it for 10 seconds, scrub through it, and then they're done. So I'll tell you this, I have required video that I have to watch for my my classes that I'm taking. And I'll tell you this, every single time I go in and I 2 times speed it, because I don't know if you guys notice, I talk kind of fast sometimes, especially when I get hype. And I listen to all my audiobooks, all my podcasts, 2 times speed. And my professor talks a little slower anyways, but he's I mean, way smarter than I'll ever be, but he's just very like gauged in how he talks. So he's like, when you're learning about something, this is how we might present it. And I'm sitting there like, keep going. It's like, listen, like President Obama has the same cadence. He's like, whatever, I do this, and then we do this. You know, it's like he has that same cadence. That's like, you're kind of like, and his is more engaging. My professor is more just like, I'm really smart and I'm rolling through like 18 different books in my head before I say a sentence. Me, I'm just like, here's what I think, and I poop it out of my brain. So I like to speed it up. That's one of the nice things about YouTube is that you can change the speed, the playback speed. So I can actually listen to a YouTube video in 2 times speed. And I can honestly, like a 30-minute video, that's not as like time consuming now because I can put it on 2 times speed, roll through it, and I'm like listening to it. So that's a benefit for your students or for you. So excellent. I'm sorry, I'm checking the chat to make sure I don't miss anything. Oh, I 2 times everything. Once I found out I could do that on YouTube, everything I listen to, oh my goodness. Okay, so sorry. Let me show you this. Can I show you that since we're talking about it? So let's go to YouTube. Let's scroll. Let's go to this video. Okay, so I'm going to bounce over to this. I'm going to show you how to 2 times speed since I am mentioning it. Okay, let's skip the ads if we can. Bam, we're skipping those ads. Okay, so to do 2 times speed, do you see this gear right here? You're going to click on that. No, Debbie, I don't think you should 2 times speed me. Maybe half speed me, and then I could be normal. Especially when I get really into it. Like I start talking, if I'm mad or excited, I'm gonna go. My heart rate starts going. My voice starts going. It's obnoxious. I know. Everybody I talk to on more frequently, they're like, "Chill, bro." Also, when I'm mad, I get really like sarcastic. And so if like I'm at a town hall meeting and they're saying something stupid, I'm like, "Oh, you think that's the way we should do this?" It's terrible. I'm the worst. It's probably why I'm not there anymore. I'm kidding. Was my choice. Okay, so go to up here. We're gonna go to playback speed, and this is where I can make it 2 times speed. I think 2 times as fast you can go on here. You hit play. Wow. Okay. Quick flip. Okay. So it rolls through quick. You want to see something really fun? And I got a friend that does this, and I don't know why he does it. It's crazy. He likes to listen and watch everything on half speed, and it makes everybody that's presenting sound drunk. And so if you're doing that and they're like, "Hey, welcome to my video," it's like super fun. But also, I couldn't do it. Never I could do that. That sentence was weird, but you know what I mean. Okay, so there you go. That's a good way to get through that information. So pre-record the information, students watch it. We're going to talk about something cool that I don't think you're using. Did I talk about YouTube Premieres briefly last week? Did I talk about it? Guys, if you're not using that, and it's pretty incredible. I'm going to show you how. Okay. And then
you and I talked about it after a lot of people had left.
this. That's right. Okay, well, we're talking about the today, guys. And honestly, if you walk away with one thing today, I want it to be YouTube Premieres, because I think it's going to help you teach more people better and save you time and energy. Okay, and I'm going to show you why when we get to it. And the number 4 is conversations, discussions. Zoom, Google Meet, Microsoft Teams. These are all examples of where it's a lot of interaction, discussions, debates. Okay, so out of these 4 options, none of them is better than the other. They are all good depending on what you're trying to accomplish in that class. If I am trying to have a debate among my students, it has to be number 4. Okay. If I need to do something and I need to hold them accountable while we're doing it, it's got to be either number 1 while using Edpuzzle, or number 3 doing a YouTube Premiere. Okay. Or I could do, number 3 or 4. Those are the ways I have to do it. So each one has their own output based on what it is you're trying to do for the students. Yes, Fred, that's correct. So if you were watching a 60-minute video, it would be a half hour. So yeah, I get it now. I'm sorry, you're making a joke. And yes, we'll put in our request to 60 minutes and let them know. Be like, hey man, I really watch this in 30. So either I'm really smart or you can change the name. That was always my joke that I like to say when Larry King left Larry King Live. I was like, that's going to be a very specific search for a replacement, because you have to be named Larry King. It's just a joke I make that I think is funny. Okay, so let's talk about something. How many of you guys have a YouTube channel? Does anybody have a YouTube channel? Okay. Has anybody have a YouTube channel they've uploaded videos to? Okay, a couple of you guys. Does anybody have a YouTube channel that they've never uploaded to, but they use and have playlists on? Anybody? Okay, so you can have an incredible YouTube channel that helps your students and is like a hub for you, an incredible YouTube channel that you never upload a video to. Okay, you can also have a good YouTube channel that you upload to, and you can also have a combination of the two. On mine, whenever I have my playlist, most of my playlists are just my own videos, because I make so many videos, I'm just going to link to myself. But there's a lot of teachers that what they do is they just curate good content for their students, and then they organize it on their YouTube page. Okay, so you have the option. Don't feel, when I talk about YouTube, don't like tune out because you're like, I'm never going to be on YouTube. They're really mean in the comments. Yes, they are. They make fun of my accent all the time. Okay, but whenever you're making a YouTube channel, keep in mind you can have an awesome YouTube channel that all it is I'm curating good stuff for my students over the years and making a good page for them to go and get resources. Okay, so creation, curation. So we're talking about number 1. Number 1 is, let's just get the information. This is where I need to find and curate good content on YouTube to give to my students. I need to, yes, exactly. Yeah, it is important to understand how students use YouTube as well, so that you can, one, encourage the right resources, but also just encourage YouTube to your students. I tell you all this every time, and I'm not trying to do it to be like, oh, I'm working on my dissertation. Blah. I am working on my dissertation, and my focus is on engaging learners in online educational videos. So I'm reading through, you know, dozens of research studies that people put years into and analyze to figure stuff out. It is harmful to your students' education if you do not provide supplementary YouTube videos for them to watch in your class. Almost every research study I found shows that. Students are watching them anyways. When they know that their professor or teacher encourages it, and especially if they encourage it, that's great for the students. It helps. They know that it's a valid resource and they feel more confident in using it to help supplement their learning. If the professors actually give them supplementary videos, that's even better. That helps them even more because now they don't have to go out and search random videos to find stuff that relates to the content. The professor is saying, hey, this is a good resource that'll help you. Watch it. And number three, if the professor is actually creating or recording videos and then giving it as a resource to the students, that helps the most. Because here's the deal. They saw this. So if you think, like say I'm teaching my students through Google Meet and you're like, oh, I forgot to record. It's not a big deal. It's whatever. It might not be. But what research studies are showing is that is most beneficial to students the week or two before final exams. That's when students go back and watch those videos the most because they want to skim through it and find those areas that they struggled with or they need to review with, and they'll rewatch your video on those moments. So that's just what the research studies show. What do I know? Okay. I haven't finished the dissertation. So get the information. This doesn't have to be from you, but you do need to find quality sources. I don't know if you guys have heard the term, fake news or whatever. So what this is we talk about training our students to be, decent human beings on the internet. We also need to train them to be able to discern quality information versus garbage information. And if I'm straight honest with you, a lot of the research studies show that the generations that struggle with this the most are the older generations. Like my grandma will see a link on Facebook and be like, oh my goodness, giraffes are going to start flying around the sky now. Because she thinks it's true because she saw some random video. It's funny, a funny story. This one of my students, her brother started a company called Birds Aren't Real. And it's completely satire, but it talks about how that birds are really like all birds were killed in the 70s. And now all birds that we see are robots from the government surveilling us. And he got on a couple news shows and pretended like it was real and they kind of took off. And he actually has a company called Birds Aren't Real. And it's incredible. But it goes to show like people have trouble discerning between real and fake. Even when like y'all have heard of The Onion or Babylon Bee, they're like websites that take satire and make them news articles, but people share them because they think they're real. We have to also kind of show our students, how do we find valid resources? And part of one of my dissertation thing is I'm going to recommend that there's a peer-reviewed section of YouTube that other instructors, other professors, like people that are like dedicated to those fields, they vouch for these videos and these resources. So I highly recommend going in and helping them find those good resources and discuss it with them. Whenever you post a video and you say, hey, this is a good lesson, ask the students, why do you think that? I thought that was a good lesson. What makes you think this person actually knows what they're talking about versus just making a flashy video? So I think it is extremely valuable to teach these students these skill sets. Also, and this is another good one, because if you're like, oh, you're saying, Tyler, I got to go find all these videos and watch them, that's a lot of extra time. Let your students go find them. And then all you're doing is telling them if it's a good resource or not. So let's roll through and see what it looks like. So can all you guys split screen this? Can you actually go search the internet while we're talking? If you can, I want to show you a couple things and we're going to walk through. So I want to check out the stuff that you just tossed in that chat. I'm going to look at it. So here's one right here. So if you want an example is my YouTube. So you can search Tarver Academy. Then after you hit subscribe, let me know and I'll leave and we're done. Okay. Rest of the day, you can take off the rest of the semester. You've earned it. All you have to do is subscribe. Okay. That's my gift to you. I can't do that. Okay. So when you search something in YouTube, I'll go ahead and search it. So if I go to YouTube and I want to search, let's say I want to search, let's just search Tarver Academy. Why not? So when you go up there and you search, if you see a circle like this, that is a channel. That is an account. That is someone's YouTube channel related, related to whatever you searched. These thumbnails right here, these rectangles, these are individual videos. So that's like a video related to what you searched. This right here, do you see how it's got that black bar on the right with the number? That is a playlist. This indicates there's 95 videos in this playlist. And so that is a playlist. So if you search, you know, American Revolution, I'm going to get channels. I'm going to get videos. There's a playlist right there. Let's see if I can find a channel. I don't see a channel pop up. But I saw playlists and I see videos. So that helps you when you're searching to be able to navigate through this to find out what you're actually looking for. Here's the cool thing. If you go in and you find a couple quality videos, go to their channel and see if they've got a whole playlist. That makes it a lot easier on you to plan out your whole semester and your supplementary stuff. Now, that's the next tip I want to show you. If you find a channel you like, say, okay, so I'm going to use mine again. Let's say you're like, okay, you know what? I teach math. I want to use Tarver Academy, or I'm helping with technology, whatever. And I want to use Tarver Academy because I know he doesn't cuss and he's, you know, whatever. He's fairly engaging. So what you can do is whenever you, when you go to their channel, on the right, you'll see where up here above the header, you see videos, playlists, community, store, all that. There is a magnifying glass. Do y'all see that? If you go to someone's channel and you click that, when you search slope, it only searches within that channel. So this is a way for you to go in and be like, you know what? I like Crash Course History. I want to go find one of their videos. You don't have to search all of YouTube. Go to Crash Course and hit search, and it's going to search only that channel for those videos. So if you know there's a channel you like that is, you know, consistent, it's good, just search there first before you go search the World Wide Web for anything to supplement your resources. So excellent. So that's a quick tip for you. Next thing, and this is maybe the most important whenever you're creating resources for students, creating playlists. Has anybody ever created a playlist? A couple of you guys? Okay, awesome. I'm going to show you the easiest way to create a playlist. Y'all ready? Let's say I want to do a lesson on slope. And I want to put this in a playlist for my students. Okay, so let's go. I'm scrolling through. Okay, I don't want slope because I didn't see my name. I want to do slope intercept. Awesome. The easiest way to create a playlist. I click on the video. Then when I'm here, you're going to go right beneath the video. Do you guys see those 3 lines with the plus sign? I'm going to click on that. That is going to bring up my playlist. These are my playlists. I have a bunch of playlists. If you don't have one, you just hit create new playlist. We're going to call it slope intercept, y equals mx plus b. Then right here, and I'm about to show you something else that's important for uploading videos. This right here is the privacy. If you make it private, no one can see it but you. It's like I'm making a private playlist just for myself. Nobody can see it. Nobody can watch it. It's just for you. If you make it unlisted, this means that nobody can search and find it. You have to give them the direct link. This works for when you upload videos as well. If you upload a video as unlisted, it only can be seen by whoever has that exact link. So if you want to make a video for parents, okay, and you're like, I'm just gonna make a YouTube video, I want it to be just for my parents. You're probably gonna want to do unlisted and then send them the link to the video. That way they don't have to log into any account. They don't have to go, like, they don't have to have a YouTube account to watch it. They can click it, watch it. Super easy for anybody, but it's not discoverable by everybody. And then public means that anybody in the world can find it. So I'll make mine public, hit create, bam. So now if I clicked on it again, I can add it to that playlist. And now if I go, like, say I want to go to this video right here, and I want to add this video on here for some reason. Now, whenever I go here, I can go to that same thing, click here, Oh, wow. Okay, so they have it turned off because it's made for kids, so they won't let you add it to a playlist. So let's pick a different video. So if you add certain videos, they won't let you, but most videos aren't indicated that they're made for kids. But the CIPA requirements that YouTube's having to follow now, it's super strict on that. Sorry, I'm trying to see my screen. And oh my gosh, stop. 2007 Tyler. So let's see. Oh, Professor Rob Bob. I like him. So let's say I want to add him. I'm going to go here. I'm going to click these 3 lines. And then I'm going to select that playlist. Bam. That's the easiest way to do it. You find the video you like, you create the playlist directly from the video. Now, a lot of people are like, well, okay, I made the playlist, but now I can't find it anywhere. Where does it go? Yes, you can make it to where it's built into your YouTube channel. Or do you guys see those 3 lines? Looks like a cheap Adidas symbol. You can go up there and you can click on that. It's going to bring up your subscriptions and it brings up your playlists. So that's how you can quickly navigate. So even if you don't share your playlists with your students, you can just do this to organize your videos year after year and what you think is valuable. How I've used this in the past, I did a flipped classroom with my math students. I would go in, I'd create a playlist of 5 videos. I'd put them together. I'd post that in Google Classroom and say, hey, here's a playlist, watch all the videos, take notes, and then you're going to upload a picture of your notes when we start class. It was a way for them to have to watch it before we started class. So playlists are great. Also, you can actually go in. Let's see. I only do this like once a year, so I'm trying to remember how to do it. You can create a playlist that other people can add to. So I can create a playlist and tell my students, hey, everyone, go in and pick one video related to this topic that is less than 3 minutes, put it in the playlist. And then you have the children, the students, build the playlist for you. And all you do is you get the link. Let me see if I can remember how to do this. Here we go. I'm going to click on this. I'm going to select my playlist. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to collaborate. Okay, that's how you do it. So you find the playlist, click the 3 dots, collaborate, and then I turn this on. Collaborators can add videos. I copy that link. I post it in Classroom. Hey, everybody, get a 3-minute video or less related to American Revolution. Toss it in here. If you can't find one, you can make your own. Paste the link in here. And then those students can add to those lists. So that's a really cool feature that I don't think a lot of people use with regards to playlists. Okay, so this is where they call the screenshot moment. I'm going to give you some YouTube channels I recommend if you don't have them already. So I'm going to drink some water because I keep coughing. My throat's going out. I don't think I have anything. I promise. That's one thing that will not make it out of 2021 is coughing in public. You'll never be allowed to do that again. Okay, so social studies. If you teach social studies, these are some YouTube channels I recommend. Crash Course History is fantastic. Has anybody ever used Crash Course History? So good. The only thing that I would recommend is watch the video first, because every now and then they'll toss in like a level 1 cuss word. Okay, so it's good to watch it beforehand. However, it is very. I'll tell you this from practical experience. We had a young lady. She made a 5 on her AP exam, and it was AP US History. And she was taking a teacher who doesn't usually have 5s. Okay, he just doesn't. So we talked to her the next year when she came in as a senior. We're like, hey, what do you attribute most of your success to on that test? She said, and I quote, 90% of what I learned for that exam, I learned in the 3 weeks leading up to it from Crash Course History's YouTube channel. They can pull value from these if they engage them with the correct audio and visual stimuli. It is possible, and it can retain a deeper learning. So I highly recommend Crash Course, but just watch the video first. Hip Hughes and Tom Ritchie, they're both great. They were educators, history teachers who put their videos up. If it matters to you, I'm pretty sure Hip Hughes votes Democrat most of the time, and I'm pretty sure Tom Ritchie votes Republican. They don't bring it in to a lot of their lessons because they're educators and they try to remain unbiased, but they do have some cool stuff where they'll like they've done like YouTube things where they did a debate with each other across their YouTube channels, and it adds a cool flair to it. Vox is super one-sided, but they make really cool pieces on aspects of history, but you definitely, I would use, that's last on my list if I'm telling you what to recommend. Science, I recommend these 4. They're all really good. I've actually met a couple of these people. Tyler DeWitt, he's great, like him, really cool dude. Bozeman has a lot of popularity. He's good, nice guy. And so I recommend him as well. And then the other 2, they're good. They're just more like entertainment value. English, honestly, I've never watched any of these. English teachers recommend these. I don't watch English YouTube channels because, as you can tell, I'm incredible at speaking English. So like, I'm pretty good at it. It's whatever. It's no big deal. Just worked on it my whole life. So if you want, there they are. If you know any that are better, email me so I can update them. Yeah, I got another vouch for preview the crash course first, which I recommend. Math, Khan Academy has a great website. Super boring videos. Great website though, but really boring videos. I like Yay Math. He was a teacher. He would dress up and present full lessons on math. Patrick JMT, he's more like upper level math, but he's really good. And then Sir Tyler Tarver, he's trash. Don't go to his website. Then we got Early Education. We got Storybots is good. They actually got picked up by Netflix. So started out as a YouTube channel, got picked up by Netflix. PBS Kids and National Geographic. Those are all good. But if I'm going to pick one for early ed, I recommend Mr. DeMayo. Super cool guy, makes really fun videos. Like my kids, when his videos come on, it doesn't matter. It could be the weekend and they're gonna be like, oh, let's watch the new Mr. DeMayo video. Like they enjoy his videos and they're on like solar system or, you know, history or whatever it is he's teaching about. It's really, really good. We got somebody vouching for Math Anywhere and Math Antics. I've heard of Math Antics. Okay, grade school level. Okay, great. So Math Anywhere and Math Antics are 2 others that are recommended as well. So I know Math Antics, they've got a pretty good library. I've seen, I don't know if I've seen Math Anywhere, but yeah, they're all really good. Okay, so there's a lot more I could say on that, but I want to move to some stuff that you might be doing more often now that you might not have been as familiar with. Am I focused? There we go. So those are all I'm pulling from what the internet has to offer. The main thing is find somebody you like that you think adds value to your students in a good way and is engaging for your students, and then try to use more and more of their content. The best is if it's you teaching because they have a connection with you in person and they have the connection on video. But if you can use consistent people on other videos and supplementary videos, they'll also build connections with them as well. Okay. These young people, they feel close to these people they watch on YouTube. They feel like they know them. They feel like they're their friend, even though they've never met them. It's just a good way to connect with them. And I didn't say this earlier, but that is also, according to some research studies, it is also a really good way to include diversity in your classroom. I can't choose what I look like as a teacher, but I can go out and find people that don't look like me and put their videos in and let students learn from them as well. There was a research study done, I can't remember where, it was with engineering students, but it's like in the 95th or above % of the students who watch videos presented by people of different cultures or people that look different than them developed like a greater empathy and understanding of them and that culture just from watching tutorial videos by those people. So it's a great way to include that in your classroom, whereas you might not be able to include other ways to build in diversity. Okay, second, presenting live. This is if I'm going to present to my students. One, it's pretty easy to record. You're just doing it through either YouTube Live or StreamYard. There's no editing, so you don't have to learn to edit because that's time consuming. It may be a little less dynamic because it's more in line with the traditional way of teaching. It's traditional lecture. So we say less dynamic, but it's really what we're doing in the classroom on a regular day. So you just might not be able to pull in a video on like spur of the moment, like some videos might be able to do. And here's the cool thing too. Storage space is not limited. If you start shooting with a camera or with your cell phone, then you're going to hit the point where it's going to fill up that card. It's going to fill up the space. I shoot a lot of video. I have maxed out. I have so many terabytes of footage that it clogs up everything you have. So if you stream it, it's putting the storage on YouTube. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. A quick look at different ways to like what I've kind of like self-identified. self-identified, what I've identified as the different ways to teach. I call level 1 the Wizard of Oz. That's where I'm talking and you can see the stuff popping up on a screen. Chalkboard, that's traditional. You can see either like a presentation, you can see like me writing as I do it. Number 3, I call this the slideshow, where I can see a slideshow and my face. So you're getting visuals, but you're also getting me. And then the entertainer, that's where you include video, you include clips from other people, voiceover, things like that. It takes a long time to get to level 4 because you have to learn to edit, and it adds a ton of different elements. So if you want to go back and see those examples, these are all links to videos so you can watch them and get an idea for what kind of content you want to produce for your students. Okay, cool. Okay, so I have a lot to present, and yes, Heather, I actually do have recommendations for tech equipment, and so I'm actually gonna talk about that in a second. I know I'll get to that part because I think it's right after this part, but I'm gonna throw that into you. So the easiest way is you can go to YouTube. If you want to just be like, hey, I'm ready to present, my students are going to be in the chat, kind of like we're doing, you can go to YouTube. Now, this is a feature you have to turn on for your account. So if you go create a YouTube account right now, it won't have this option, but if you turn it on, then you can have the option. So I'm sorry, I can't see my screen. So I'm going to go up here to this little, see the little video camera? I'm going to click on that. I'm going to say go live. It's going to go into my live YouTube Creator Studio. Yes, Christian, I do recommend it for 3rd grade as well. And here's why. They're watching YouTube. They watch YouTube right now anyways. So toss it in there. My kids have been watching YouTube Kids since before they got into kindergarten. So they're watching it. It's just, you might have to train them on some steps to watch it, not for fun, but watch it for education. And that's where it's even more important for you to give them, because it is, especially when they're younger, they're just going to type in what they know to type. Well, actually, my kids, before they knew how to spell, they'll hit the voice thing and they'll say what they want to say into the search bar instead of actually having to type it. So it's crazy. Okay, so here we go. I can start now or I can do later. I'm going to start now. I've got a built-in, oh, wow. This is new. They just added these little options. They're going to keep making this better, by the way. Okay, so let's say I want to stream and I'm going to say faux fun. I'm not going to make this public because I don't want people jumping in. So unlisted, you could do unlisted and then watch. This is how you're probably going to do it, because if you're presenting to your students, most likely randos aren't going to jump onto your live stream, but they could. And it's happened to me before. I was presenting to teachers one time and I was like, I'll just make it public. I had like these crazy people get on there and start saying this stuff. And I was like, this is insanity. And so what you have to do is start blocking them. Unlisted is safe because you can take the link, paste it into Google Classroom, and then they can join from there. So I can go schedule, I can go unlisted. I'm going to go more options. Nope. I don't need any of that. I'm going to hit next. It's going to take a thumbnail. What's up, gamers? Okay, long one. We done? Feels like that was way too long. Okay, there we go. So I got a thumbnail for the video. Now it's going to give me my share. So I can click share. I can copy that link. Now I'm just going to toss that in Google Classroom. Then when class starts, I can go live. So when you go live, it's going to be showing me on video. Hey, what's up? And then over here on the right, that's where I'm going to see the chat. So, you know, like while I'm talking to you guys, I can see all your Zoom faces and I can see this chat on the right. Here's the deal. Unless you guys are popping in and talking a lot, the chat is sufficient. So if you're just like, hey class, I'm going to present for like 40 minutes, take notes and ask questions, I would do this as opposed to like a Zoom or a Meet call. And the reason is students are more likely to participate if they know the structure is chat structured. Like I honestly, if we were doing this, I would be asking more questions. I'd be like, throw in the chat this, throw in the chat that. And it also takes roll. I need to end this. Okay. So that's a great option. You can do that. Now here's the thing. YouTube's going to add this, but they haven't yet, to my knowledge. I cannot share my face and my screen at the same time. And I know as teachers, that's what most of us want to do, correct? Very few times do we just want to get on there and be like, hey, here's me talking for 45 minutes with no visuals. unless you have like a dry erase board behind you. So the website I recommend is right underneath this slide. It is called StreamYard. They have paid ones, but they also have free accounts. StreamYard is super easy to use if you want to go in and show your face and also a slide, and you can swap between the two. Super easy. And you can run it live. You can see chat. You can actually bring people's questions. Like if a student typed a question in the chat, you could click it and it brings it in on screen so everybody can see the question. StreamYard is like my favorite thing I've used for live streaming in the past like 3 years. I think it's great. And I've got an example of a video I did. I went live to show how to do like custom Google Classroom headers last week. And so this video is an example of how to do that. So if you want to check it out, StreamYard is super user-friendly. All you have to do is have a YouTube account to get started. Okay. And again, they have the free version. Cool. Also, I used to do this when I did announcements. Honestly, guys, if you are teaching any students virtually, I recommend doing a minimum once a week, preferably once every day, what I call a community video. It's 2 minutes or less. It's you giving updates, announcements to your students, and also like expectations, but also like, hey, you know, I want to tell you my favorite pizza place is Blaze Pizza. I'll tell you what I used to love about Blaze Pizza is I love the zucchini, but they got rid of it. So now I have to settle for broccoli, which still is good, blah, blah, blah. Sounds gross, but I love it. In the comments, tell me your favorite pizza place. No, you did not learn something about my topic, but you learned something about me, and I cared enough to ask you something about you. One of the hardest things about teaching online is building that community that used to be built in automatically on in-person classes, okay? Now, I'm not saying you need to be a YouTuber and you need to have a daily vlog and you do it every day, okay? That sounds like a lot of work. But in the Google Classroom app, all you have to do is go to the Classroom app, you go into announcements, and you can actually post a video directly into Google Classroom that is only visible to your students. It is super easy to do. I'm signing as a sign. So like say here, I go to Classroom. I'm not going to do this the whole time. I don't want to start the time, but it's on here. And if you want, I've got a video on how to get there and do it. Just email me and I'll show you. I should have included it in here. Daily announcements at the minimum. Weekly announcements is you should at the very least. I say daily at the minimum. Weekly at the minimum. Daily would be optimal. Do that. Connect with your students outside of their assignments. Okay. And again, if I was doing it, I would do it in Google Classroom directly in the app. You can do it all from your phone. Super easy to use. Okay. Number 3, pre-record the video. Okay. You have more control. If you pre-record it, you have more control. Can you admin student Chromebooks to only connect to your YouTube playlist? So you mean like so that they can't go out and see like other random videos, I'm guessing? Is that what you're thinking? I don't think you can. Honestly, I don't think you can. You would, there may be a program. If there is, I don't know which one it is, to where you can limit what they watch on YouTube to just what you allow. I know there are some districts that they like all of YouTube is blocked unless a teacher goes in and unblocks that individual video. So I don't know how y'all's district is set up, but I know that it is an option. I need to show you, I'm going to show you a quick tip too. Watch this. So are you saying that is it because they keep going and watching random stuff across the internet? Is that the problem? I guess you're just trying. Okay, here's what I recommend. So they blocked all of YouTube at your district, Heather? If they did, that's like the greatest educational tool in the history of mankind.
They blocked it for one student.
Oh,
He
okay.
kept getting on sites he shouldn't have. He has a disability, and so that was the only way we could not allow him to make those choices. But you can't block specific things. You just have to block it all.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That's what I was going to say. Like that was always a big issue with us because we'd have administrators to be like, oh, we had a kid go to a bad website or watch a video. We need to block the internet for him. And I would just be like, if they walked in with a textbook and they wrote a cuss word on a textbook, will we block them from textbooks? It's like we have to. And again, the hard part is we've never had to regulate this, especially if they're at their own houses. You know what I mean? And so that makes it a lot harder. And so it's like us as educators figuring out how do we transition the discipline we used to have and the routines to get students to stop doing trash things. How do we do that with the internet, where it's like they've been given free reign in their minds when they're on the internet? So I don't have perfect answers for it. I think it's just trial and error until you figure out what works. But honestly, if the student continues to make those decisions, I don't know of a lot of options besides blocking it for that student. So I want to show you something real quick. So we're on a YouTube video. Let's say you want to show a YouTube video of your class, but you don't want all this stuff on the side and you don't want all this. I don't know if have I showed you guys this before? If I have, cool. If I haven't, I'm gonna show you. It's super easy. Up here in the address bar, also it's called the Omni box, fun fact. Go to where it says YouTube. Put your cursor right behind the T. T isn't Tyler. Go right behind the T and put a dash. Now I'm gonna hit enter and I'm gonna go to that website. What it does is it sticks that video full screen and only shows that video. No recommended videos, no videos at the end, none of that stuff. And that's all you have to do. And you can play a video for your class without worrying about a Smirnoff commercial popping up. Okay, so there you go. Put a dash after the T. The end. Okay, there you go. There we go. Look at us. We're really doing it. Okay, pre-record the videos. You have a lot more control. The problem with pre-recording on your phone is it fills up your phone data. If you're doing a 45-minute lesson on your phone, it's going to take 2 years to upload it to YouTube or any other website. It's going to take so much time. My recommendation, don't record it with your phone. I say that. Don't download it to your phone. You remember those streaming sites I showed you earlier where you could stream a video? Record the video on either StreamYard or YouTube before class, set it as unlisted. You are no longer putting the storage on you. You're putting the storage on YouTube. See what I did there? It's whatever. Okay, don't have to clap. It's fine. So whenever you do that, you can stream it as unlisted and then finish it. And then next week, you can be like, okay, here's the video. You copy the video and paste the link in. You already presented the whole lesson. That is how I would record an entire, I do that. That's how I record entire things that I want to present, but I want to like, hey, I want to record this beforehand. I don't want to run it live. I'll go in, take that, record it unlisted, do my whole lesson, and then send them the link next week or whenever I want to. So that is a great option. Okay, I'm going to roll through because I'm running out of time. Thought I was going to be able to answer lots of questions. You can embed YouTube videos directly into Google Forms, which I highly recommend doing. I talked about my bell ringers more than any human being ever wants to hear my bell ringers. But if you want, here's an example of how you can do video bell ringers for your class every day. And I've even got like a free resource of 100 something videos that you can use for those quote of the day bell ringers or math. If not, find a YouTube channel you like, use those daily bell ringers. If you're doing it via devices, Explain Everything is a really good app where you can record your voice and writing over top of it. I used it for years. I don't use it anymore, but I did for a long time. iPad has screen record and so does your phones. Next, whenever I do screen record, I use an app called Notability and I love it. I have an iPad and I've got one of these pencils. So what I'll do is I'll import a PDF of a bunch of like math problems. Like you can see the video right there of me doing it. I just imported the PDF, worked the math problem, recorded my screen, uploaded it to YouTube. I had somebody ask me the other, like, it was like last week, their kid, I don't do a lot of math videos anymore. I used to. And then their kid was like, I'm having trouble with, I think it was solving systems of linear inequalities using substitution, which we all use every day, of course, you know, whatever. And so they wanted me to work it. So I was like, okay, I imported it, did Notability, hit screen record, made sure my audio was on, walked through it in like 10 minutes, put it on YouTube and sent them the link. Like it's super easy to do if you have an iPad and a pencil. If you don't, it's a little harder to do that. Also, screen record, Screencastify is good. Loom is another one. I've never used it, but I've heard it's really good. And I did a project for my students in my marketing class, and a lot of them chose Loom, and they liked it. Looked really good. Okay, so we got a couple people vouching for Loom. I've heard it is great. So yeah, if you like Zoom or Google Meet, and that's what you're comfortable with, that's totally fine. You just have to realize there are going to be like advantages in some areas and limitations in some areas. Here's what I recommend. This is Tyler Tarver's recommendation, which you do, boo-boo. I would pre-record me teaching the lesson with no one in there. And then I would send that video to them to use and watch, or sorry, to watch and take notes on before class. And then when we came into class with a Zoom or a Google Meet, that's when I want to answer questions. That's whenever I want to have them present. That's when I want them to do everything, as opposed to doing what I've done for the past hour and a half, and that's mainly talk. I would want, if I'm having students every single day, I want to pre-record, watch this at night as homework. Your homework's going to last 30 minutes or whatever, however long the video is. And then we'll come into class and we're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss it. So that's what I recommend. But again, I'm not your boss. Do whatever you want. If you're talking about what to record with, somebody asked about gear earlier. This cell phone is one of the best video gears, comprehensive video gears you can use. I do have a setup on slide, whatever that is. What slide is that? Slide 36. That's what this right here. This is me. I've got my, I've got a camera I use. If you have a budget, I love this camera. So I've linked to my setup, camera, mic, tripod, lighting. Actually, I need to update the link of the lighting. I use this for lighting now. And see, this is the difference it makes. This is what it looks like without. I just turned it off. This is what it looks like with. Lighting, honestly, guys, for video clarity, lighting is the difference maker. It's the difference between looking professional and looking like you're being held hostage. And of course, my light just went out. Awesome. Yes, notability does cost. It looks like it's $9. Honestly, for virtual screen, all that stuff. Actually, I just take notes. When I'm in meetings, I take notes in notability. Super cool. Is that the light? I like that. Oh, that's one of those press ones. That's cool. I like it. Is it clip? That's clean. I like that. If you want tips on how to record better video with your phone, I've got a video right here you can watch. I would show you. It's great. Main thing is eye level, decent lighting, no exterior noise. But that video walks through. Also, that video is good if you want your students to create video, which I definitely think you should. You can send them that video on tips on how to do video. So, and honestly, let them make videos for your class in the apps they're already using. Instagram stories, TikTok, whatever else they're using, let them make it. Those selfie lights are cheap. They're like $10 or less, right? So if you have a link, if you have an affiliate link, Zach, toss that in there, make you some money, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Amazon affiliate links. There you go, guys. We already talked about this. Last thing, I said this is the most important thing I want you to get today, and I'm going to talk about it in the last minute and a half. YouTube premieres. If you can pre-record a video, so if I pre-record myself teaching for 45 minutes, I'm going to upload that to YouTube, and I'm going to set it as what is called a premiere. That means that I can schedule it out for Monday at 9 a.m., tell all my students, hey, Monday at 9 a.m., here's the link. You're going to go here and you're going to watch. We're going to learn together. Make sure you take notes and tune in, take roll, all that. So what you do is when you upload that and whenever that hits play, it's like you've started a movie in a movie theater and students are walking into the movie theater when they jump into the premiere. Whereas most YouTube videos, it's like, hey, here's the whole video, and they can scrub anywhere they want in the video, all of that. So let me find where I've done that, and I'll show you an example. I did this. The first time I used premieres was for a conference I did last summer, and I was creating this conference, and I did alternating premieres and then live streams. And so it alternates. So it'd start with a premiere, teach for 45 minutes, then we do like a 30-minute Q&A. And so like, let's see, nope. Let's do authentic. So what we did was we would record. I pre-recorded this video right here with my friend Leanne. And then I hit like play whenever the time came up. And the trick is, this is what sets it apart. You can have a live chat going while the video is playing. So as a teacher, I pre-record myself teaching. I upload as a premiere. It starts playing at 9 a.m. It starts playing. And then over here on the right, do you see this? I am now having a conversation with people in the chat while that video is going. So if we'd have done this past hour and a half as a premiere, I would have pre-recorded me teaching all this in an hour and a half. It would have been playing. And then in the chat, all of us are talking. Y'all are asking questions. And whenever you ask a question, I can be tossing the links in because I'm not teaching. It's already teaching. It's like I create a co-teacher for my class, and one of us is in the chat and one of us is on the video, but really it's me for both of them. So I love YouTube Premieres and I highly recommend it. And I think it's something you can play around with. And they're also, YouTube is investing more energy into Premieres. So they're actually getting a lot more features coming up. So I know I talked too long about a lot of this because I could talk about video for 3 days. So if you have any questions, if there's anything I talked about, if there's anything in here that you see that I didn't talk about, email me and I will follow up with you. I'll make a video or I'll send you an email or I'll send you links or whatever I need to do to connect in the way that I didn't get a chance to teach through this. Anybody use Jamboard, by the way? Anybody use Jamboard? It's awesome. I love Jamboard. I've got a full walkthrough right here if you want it. Does anybody need blank slides? No? Okay, then I'm going to delete those for fun. Okay, and then we're going to go over here. And does anybody have any questions? We have -1 minute. I'm so sorry. I talked way too long. I told you, I'm so excited. I get so excited about video. Oh, y'all got questions and I'm not answering them. Before you leave, before you check out, don't forget, Mary Jane just tossed a link in there to fill out for your PD. Oh, thanks, Shannon. Wow, y'all are really nice. Zach, after, yes, correct. It is in real time. They cannot speed it up while it's happening. And then after it's over, then they can do the 2 times speed. Good question. Good question. Thank you. And if you guys want to stick around, I'll answer questions. But if you got to go, I understand. But I would love to answer anything you guys have. Thank you guys so much. Y'all were lovely. Just lovely. Just wonderful. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Jan. I appreciate that a lot. I always learn, like, you guys, this is a good group. Like, I always learn stuff from you guys too. Like, I learned stuff today that I didn't know. And also you bring up questions of stuff I need to go look into and figure out. So y'all are good. A lot of times you talk to it looks like a potato sack storage facility where they're just like, you know, but you guys are great. Y'all are the good ones. Appreciate you. Okay, okay, Kelsey, I see your question. It says, is there an easy way to transfer bookmarks on your toolbar in Fire? I've never tried to transfer. I think, hold on, how to transfer bookmarks from Firefox to Chrome. Yeah, you can. Here's how. I don't know if you can see that. See that? Screenshot that. Yeah, you can. And I don't think any of these video options I said are all like, don't do one of them all the time. Mixing it up is that just changing it up like that is enough to keep their attention enough, and then you can rotate through. I really, really recommend rotating through. If you're only doing Zooms, I think that's wrong. If you're only doing Premieres, I think that's wrong. If you're only doing lives, I think that's wrong. I think you've got to switch them up. And then honestly, you're going to know your demographics better than some random dude from Arkansas. Okay, so figure out your students and know what they like. For real. I appreciate that, Zach. As always, you killing the game. When are you moving down here, man? We're going to start a podcast together. I think the world needs it.
You know as well as I do, I don't have to move down there to start a podcast. That's the beautiful
That's
thing
true.
about technology.
That is true. We can just use Google Voice and just have this call's now being recorded. That's awesome. And Mary Jane, thank you so much for tossing those links in. That is so helpful. So helpful. Dude, Colleen, do not feel like that. I think it's great. That's the thing. Here's the deal. I was not great at technology. When I was in the classroom, my first 4 years, my principal tried to get me to get a Promethean board. He was like, I'm going to get you this Promethean board. And I told him to his face, dude, I don't need a Promethean board. I need a dry erase board, a marker, and more learning will take place than the rest of school combined. I was so arrogant. I was mainly joking, but you know what I mean. I just used a dry erase board. For 4 years, that's all I used. And then like my 5th year, I was like, I guess I'll get an iPad and I'll project it. I had one iPad and I was like, this is awesome. I'm an idiot. This is so much better. I'm like screenshotting it, uploading it. They can go get the lessons later. And that was like 2011. And so it's come a long way since then. And so That's the thing. I didn't know a lot until I just started using it. That's the trick to all this, guys. None of us are bad at technology. All of us are still learning. We might just be at different areas. Okay. So it's like, there are things, what I learned, I did a TikTok 2 days ago showing people how to freeze rows and columns on Google Sheets. And some dude did a stitch and was like, hey man, there's like a really easy way to do this. And he showed me. I had never in my life, like it's super easy. I had no clue. I didn't know just because I didn't know. How would I know? How would they know? That's a TikTok thing. But yeah, absolutely.